everybody, Morgan with Event Answer here, and today I'm making this curly balloon pillar. It comes together really quickly and only uses two kinds of balloons. So follow along and I'll show you how to make this. The supplies you'll need for this project include 14 260 balloons, half of them are in gold and half of them are black, plus a few extras for assembly. And I also have 20 11-inch balloons in gold and black as well. I'll be using my electric and hand pump inflator as well as my cardboard box balloon sizer, which I'll have that linked above if you'd like to learn how to make one of these for yourself. I'll also be using my 5-foot balloon pillar stand, which I've made myself, and I'll have that linked as well. So to get started, let's inflate all of the balloons. So I'm going to start with my black balloons, and I'm going to inflate all 10 of these to 9 inches. And I'll do this by using my balloon sizer box. So fully inflate the balloon and then press it against the 9-inch circle and slowly let air out until that balloon just fits through the hole. This will give us really consistent sizing for all the balloons. So once you've got all 10 of those done, I'm going to switch over to the gold balloons and repeat the same process and inflating them to 7 inches. Once all of the 11-inch balloons are inflated, it's time to tie them into sets of 5. So I'm going to take the first 2, wrap the nozzles around twice and tie those off, and that will give me a pair. To this first pair, I'm going to tie a single balloon. So I'm going to take the nozzles of that single and take one of the nozzles from the pair and just snugly tie those together. I've tied together another pair already, and I'm going to bring that pair and this trio together by putting the nozzles right against each other and twisting the balloons together, and this will give me my set of 5. So repeat this with all of your 11-inch balloons and set those aside, because now we're going to work on curling all of our 260s. So I have my PVC pipe stand as well as my hand pump and a clamp here. When curling these 260 balloons, it's super important to pre-inflate all of your balloons. This softens up the latex and makes it a lot easier to curl around the pole in just a moment. So I'm going to take all my balloons and inflate them completely to the end and then let all the air out. Once all the balloons are pre-inflated, I'm going to take the very end of my first one and clamp just the end of it to my pipe. And this is going to hold it snugly in place so I have my hands free to pump. And then I'm going to wrap the balloon gently around the pipe all the way up until there's only about an inch of that balloon off of the pipe, and then slowly inflate it. As I'm inflating my balloon, I've raised up my pump a little higher, and this is going to give me a longer spiral, but if you want a really tight spiral, you want to keep that pump really low to where the balloon is. And once you've got the air till it's right where that clamp is, unclamp it and finish inflating the balloon. So I'm just going to burp this balloon a little bit and tie off the end. Now, because the clamp was holding the very end of the balloon and didn't hold that curl, you've got this straight section. If you don't want it to be straight, you can always take your 2 thumbs and grab it on either side of the balloon and gently press it upwards in the direction that you want it to curl. And by doing this thumb motion, you're able to add a little bit more curl wherever you'd like it. Once you've curled all the 260s, it's time to tie them into pairs. So in each pair, I'm doing 1 gold and 1 black balloon, and that's going to give me a nice variety in my spray, and it'll make it really consistent for the 2 that I'm going to put on the pillar. So 2 of these pairs you're going to set aside for the body or the pillar of this column, and the rest of them we're going to tie together into the spray. So I'm just taking those pairs and twisting them together until I've got this large fluffy mass of balloons, and to that I'm going to take one of my spare 260s, and the color doesn't really matter, and I'm just going to secure that right where all the nozzles are touching each other, tying a quick knot, and the 2 ends of that 260 I'm going to use to tie to the very top of the pillar. So leave those tails long because we'll need them in a moment. The last thing we need to do before assembling this balloon pillar is camouflaging the base. So in this design, the pillar shows through the balloons, and I really don't want this white PVC pipe showing through, so I'm going to camouflage it using some black crepe paper. Now this is a simple and easy fix to hiding the pipe, but you could always use colored tape or fabric, lots of options, but crepe paper is really forgiving, it's super stretchy, and it comes in tons of colors. So I've just taped it down on the end a couple inches in from each end, and I'm just wrapping it snugly all the way down that pipe. So you want to make sure you don't go all the way to the end of the pipe because we do have to stick this into the base and attach balloons to it. Starting off with my first set of 9-inch black balloons, I'm going to snug 2 of the balloons right around the pillar and making sure the nozzles of my set of 5 is right against that PVC pipe pole. I'll then take the 2 balloons that were on either side of the pole and twist them over each other, and that will lock that set of 5 into place. So here it is with the 7-inch balloons. I'm going to follow up, putting 2 balloons on either side until the nozzles are against the pole, twisting those 2 together and snugging them down. Now you do have to be a little careful of the crepe paper while you're doing this because it can shift a little bit, or you could rip it if you're like really rough with it. But I was able to shimmy mine right back into place, and you couldn't even tell that I had moved it while I messed with the balloons. Then I'm going to add one of my 260 pairs, and I'm going to snug it right underneath one of my gold balloons and make sure the nozzles of those 260s get right up against the nozzles of my 11-inch balloons. So once I've got them right against the PVC pipe pole, I'm going to curl my balloon all the way around that pole. And I'm going to play with this a little bit because every balloon curls a little differently. So when I was choosing my pairs, I tried to pick balloons that had a really tight corkscrew because I thought those would look best wrapping around the pillar. For the top half of the pillar, I'm going to assemble it on the ground because I found I could make it flatter instead of assembling it around the pillar to start with. So I'm going to lay both sets of my balloons together, and then taking a spare 260, I'm going to weave it in and out of the 2 layers in a figure 8 pattern until I get around all the balloons, and then I'm going to tie a knot to secure everything together. And this is going to help keep everything really flat and so the balloons don't get out of place. Once I've got that done, I'm going to take it over to my base and slide the whole assembly down over the top of that pipe and twisting 2 of the gold balloons and 2 of the black balloons around that PVC pipe. And that pipe should be level with or just above the nozzles of those black balloons, and that will hold everything in place. Now, sets of 5 don't really like to lay flat, so it may take a little jimmying to get them to lay flat. Once you've got them in place, take your last pair of 260s and just like we did on the bottom, slide that pair over a gold balloon and then twist them gently around the base. Now there's a lot of different ways you can arrange these. You could always add more curls to the base, or you can even interlock the balloons. So I left the ends of my 260s free, but you could always take like the gold balloon from the top and a gold balloon from the bottom and tie them together, so you kind of get this really long spiral all the way down. This is a great place to let your creativity run wild. And finally, the pièce de résistance, the spray on top of the pillar. So I've got a hold of the 2 tails of that spare 260. I'm just going to bring those down all the way under all of my 11-inch balloons and tie them snugly together. This spray is not going anywhere off the top of this balloon. Once you've tied that knot, it's simply a matter of playing with these balloons until you're satisfied with the look and the arrangement of the curls on top. Every curl is a little different, so play with it until you're happy with the final look. I hope you were inspired by today's project and give us a try. With a few simple materials, you can make something that creates a lot of wow at any party or event. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button and subscribe below. I'd love to have you join my creative community as I make all kinds of party setups, event decorations, how-tos, and balloon tutorials just like this. So until the next time, you can check out some of the videos over here. And remember, stay creative.